Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to learn how to export bulk records from Power Apps to Excel using Power Automate. In this tutorial, we will see a much faster approach, how the Power Apps will communicate with the Power Automate, where the data is transferred in a JSON format and then the Excel template is used. After that, we'll see how Office scripts write all the records into an Excel by using a single operation. So all this we are going to cover in this video. So let's start the tutorial. The Power App screen that I have already designed. Now let me explain the requirement first. This is the Power App screen. Suppose if you imagine there are records of 5,000 or 10,000 records in it. When I click on this export button, all the records present in this Power App screen should have to be downloaded as a Excel spreadsheet. This is my requirement. And how I will get the records here in the Power App screen. It is from my data source, which is a SharePoint list. The records which are present here will be redirected to the Power App screen, and from the Power App screen I will be downloading all the records as a Excel sheet. So let me come back to the Power Apps again, and when you see here, I'm clicking on export button. As you can see, within a few seconds the export file has been downloaded, and let me refresh the page. This is the Power App screen. The records which are present in a bulk upload here, as I have already shown you the bulk upload SharePoint list, it should have to be redirected to the Power App screen. It is an empty collection now. When I refresh the Power App screen, it is getting reloaded the data here. You can see the data just came within a few seconds. That is, as you can also see here, the notification data loaded in a 4 seconds, and the total count of the items here will be 10,000. Now I wanted all these records which are present in a Power App screen. I wanted to download all these records into a Excel spreadsheet. So when I click on the export button here, it is showing please wait, and the data is getting downloaded. Just wait for a few seconds. Now as you can see here, the Excel file has been created and the data has been exported to the Excel sheet within a few seconds. You can also see name here, that is the export file has been created on the name of 30th June. So now let me explain the expressions that I have given in the Power App screen, which will trigger the Power Automate flow to create a Excel file. So now I'm in a editing mode of this bulk upload app. Let me show you what the expression I have used in the refresh button and the export button. In the refresh button, when I click on the refresh button here, let me show you the code that I have been using here. So I'm setting the time with var start time. Will be taking the time as now, and so this is the expression that will call the Power Automate flow directly from the Power Apps, and whatever the output that we get from the Power Automate flow, it will that will be returned in a JSON format, and that JSON format we are parsing it as a table. Output from the Power Automate flow will be returned as a JSON string. Apps can't directly work with the strings record, so we are parsing the JSON into JSON object. I have used this parse JSON. After parsing, I'm making it as a table. After parsing the JSON, I converting the data everything in a table, so we can loop through each record. These are the parameters. This is the column and the column values from a SharePoint. ID, we are getting the ID as value and the value.id. Title, on behalf of. Just note down all the columns and the values here. I will give this expression in the description box. You can please go and find it there. Then after that, I have given the expression as notified the data loaded in 4 seconds, and then resetting the form as a new form. So this is the complete expression. I have given it in a refresh. So this icon, when we click on the refresh icon, the Power Automate flow will trigger. I have already built the Power Automate flow. In the Power Automate flow, I took the trigger as when Power Apps calls a flow, add a text input, and then parse JSON. So when we click on the refresh button there, after the trigger add a parse JSON, the JSON string that is coming from the Power Apps needs to be converted as an array. So I'm giving here the schema as the type array, and the content will be in the export. So how you can take the export here from the dynamic content, under the trigger you can find export option as a dynamic content as an export, and the schema as type is equals to array. Next, add a get file content action. Here I'm getting the file that has been stored in my SharePoint document library. So this is the SharePoint document library. Here I have stored one Excel template. I'm getting this content in that get file content action. Here I was reading this Excel template that has been stored in this document library. This template already contains the formatting, headers and tables. As you can see here, when I go to the Excel template here, I have been already named columns and formatted it as a table. So I need to get this file content in my Power Automate flow. This is the action here, and provide the site address where it has been stored and the file identifier. You can select it from the. After that, add create file action from a SharePoint. Instead of modifying the template that already have been saved in our SharePoint document library, I'm creating a new copy of each export when the new export is being created. So in the create file parameters, site address as bulk upload and folder path, the files that have been downloading or creating when we click on the refresh button, I'm saving all those in a folder named export folder. So let me come back and check here you. This is the folder that have been created. When we create the when we download that, the files will be created and saved in this folder. So select here the folder path, whatever the files template along with the data as a Excel file will be saved here in the export folder, and I'm naming the file here as export and the UTC now. So it will be differ for every file that has been creating. And the file content, we need to take the file content from the previous action. Insert here the body of file content. Insert here the body of get file content from the previous action. You can click here, and under the get file content, see the file content here, and the overwrite as select here the parameter as S. Then we have everything now. Next to the create file, I took create sharing link for a file or a folder action. In this action, it will create a sharing link. That sharing link will be given to the Power Apps. So here we'll see how the sharing link will be created. We'll take an action, create sharing link for a file or folder, provide the site address and the library name where the file has been created, and the item ID. Will get the item ID from the create file action. you can see from the dynamic content, the body or item ID, and the link type as view only, and link scope will be people in our organization. Here after this action, we'll have the sharing link, and then we'll give this sharing link to the Power Apps. We'll name, add an input, and provide, here I provided the name as download, and the sharing link that has been generated from previous action will be given here as a value. Create sharing link for a file or a folder, sharing link. Here I have taken the sharing link from a create sharing link for a file or folder. After that, here the flow sends download URL back to the Power App. Then after, add one more action, that is a run script. So far we have created a copy of Excel template, but the Excel file exists with its template, but it's still empty. So now we need to populate all the records within the Excel file. To do that, I'm using here the run script. In the run script, provide the parameters, location, where this file has been present, bulk upload, and the document library. The created file that has been present in a create file. So take here the body or path of a create file action and the script here. Let me show you how the script you can be generated. Let's come back to the Excel template here. In the Excel template, when you click on the Automate tab, it will show the new script and the view script options. I have already created the script. Let me show you the scripts that I have created. In the view script, if you see recent scripts, it has the scripts that I have been created. This is the script. If you wanted to create the new script, click on a new script here and create in a code editor and just rename the script. So this is how the script we need to create, and the scripts that I have been created here. See, as you can see, just now the script has been created with the name of script, and this is the previous script that I have created, and export to Excel script. So let me come back to the Power Automate flow again, and in the script from the drop down, you can choose the scripts that have been available. Here I wanted to use the script export to Excel script. You can do the same way, and in the script parameters or data, switch it to input an array item, and here in the script data, the parse data that is available from the previous action from the Power Apps, you need to parse the body of parse JSON. The parse JSON will contain the array of records that has been retrieved from the SharePoint. Let me show you how this will run. Now you can see there are no records in this Power Apps screen. When I click on the refresh icon here, it will load the data here into the screen. As you can see, we got a notification of data loaded in 4 seconds, and it has loaded the 10,000 records. Next to that, when I click on the export button here, it will download the Excel file with all these records. You can see, let me refresh this Power Automate flow. The refresh icon will trigger the Power Automate flow here. See, the flow has been running 12 seconds ago. The flow has running 12 seconds ago, and the status has been succeeded. It has been downloaded just now. You can see the time, 30th June. This is how to export the bulk data from Power Apps to the. Thank you for watching. Let's meet with another video tutorial in Power Platform next week. For any support, you can mail to us on the displaying email address. Thank you.